I wumbo, you wumbo, he, she, me, wumbo.
Alright, so GTA 6 leaked apparently. Or not apparently, like it did leak. It's all over the internet. Like you can find it if you want it to see it. Um am I the only one that's like kind of happy that it leaked just to kind of confirm that this game actually exists? Like I know it was like leaked a few whatever, what, months ago, weeks ago that or not leaked to it. It was like, well, I think it leaked and then it was told like then Rockstar was like, yes, we're working on GTA 6. But like to me, Rockstar just putting out a statement saying, yes, we're working on GTA 6 like does not mean shit. Like it to me, I was like, does that mean they're just fucking making like the graphic for it? Because like Rockstar takes their slow ass time on fucking everything. So I'm just glad that like this is like a somewhat developed like working game, and like if you can see by well, or not see uh all the footage that's out there, apparently like, over like an hour or so of like leaked footage and images and stuff like that are out there. A lot of it seems like it was this stuff was kind of around the time period of like 2019, 18, around that time. So like this is even like pre 2020. This is like pre pandemic time, which I guarantee like 2020 probably delayed a lot of their shit. Um, but you know, whatever. I'm just like happy, like holy fuck, like okay, good. Like they've developed it. Like there's like a working game. There's like character models, like whatever. And I'm not gonna get into whole like hacker and shit, but it looks promising. Like GTA 6, at least it's like a game. That's like what I'm most excited about. So like everyone else complaining that like it doesn't look great. That was from years ago development stuff. I feel like if we saw anything today, it would look 1,000 times better. I think it would look kind of the way that a game would look as it's getting close to release. I'm not 1,000% sure how soon this game's gonna be released because what the fuck do I know? I'm not Rockstar. Um, I did finish Red Dead Redemption 2, um, like a few weeks ago, and I understand what people meant when they were saying that like it restored their faith in Rockstar, that they like a single player like DLC. This is coming from someone who only plays pretty much exclusively like you know narrative driven stories. Like I only play like offline, I guess, like by myself because I'm a fucking lonely ass person. Um, no, it's just because I hate people. That's why I hate people, and I just so like, it's so weird because like Grand Theft Auto 5 is like one of my favorite games. One of my favorite. It's not my favorite game. It's not my favorite Rockstar game. Um, but like I think the game I hate the most on the planet is GTA 5 Online or GTA Online. It like because it's like people suck. Like I only play online when it's a solo session, when I'm lonely by myself, and I'm like, this is let's just kind of switch up what I'm doing here. Um, but I do understand what people were saying about Red Dead Redemption 2, how it restored their faith, and that like Rockstar like took the time to make like a very well curated like narrative story. Um, like I get it now, especially coming from someone who does not like westerns. Like I don't like westerns, and this was very shocking to me that I did not play Red Dead Redemption 1. Um, Thinking about playing it, I bought a copy like midway through me playing Red Dead Redemption 2 just to be like just in case. Um, but right now, like Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm very impressed. I'm still like processing the whole story. It was a very long story. It took me over a year to finish because I just don't have all the fucking time in the world to sit down and play a video game. But I do enjoy a really well done, crafted, like action adventure, like story, like video game, especially from Rockstar. Like I've played Grand Theft Auto 4 like 8,000 times. I've completed at least um, San Andreas at least twice. I've completed Vice City once, 3 once, um, 5 I've completed. I think at least like 4 or 5 times at this point. Um, and I enjoy Five's story. It's not my favorite story out of all of there. I think it's one of that's up there. It's one of the stories that is definitely up in Rockstar's category, but I'm more of like a serious tone like person, which is another point I wanted to get into is that GTA 6 from the leaks of what the story is like and even like that like leaked like mission that we have, who knows how many missions we're going to have like that. It seems like that's going to be what people are speculating is going to be a core game mechanic is like when they're like robbing that like diner place. It seems more run and gun, like it seems more grounded. I think that's one thing that I really like about this story so far, that they're kind of going to be pulling from Bonnie and Clyde, which if you don't know what Bonnie and Clyde is, it's like, Jay-Z and Beyonce. No, I'm joking. But, it's, you know, a couple running and gunning, across, I believe the American South. Um, and until they eventually die, which would be a very interesting way. Also, I was just talking with a few of my friends, a couple of weeks ago, that it would be interesting if they kill off the same way they did with Red Dead Redemption, how they killed off, obviously, spoiler alert if you don't know, Arthur Morgan dies at the end of the story, and then also John Marston and one dies at the end of that story. It would be a very interesting way to kind of like maybe force players to play online if the main characters do die, and in Bonnie and Clyde, like, they were excessively shot by the police because the police was like, enough of this bullshit. So that would be interesting if they kind of take that approach and they do die and it kind of forces you to boot into online, which would be an interesting concept to be like, there's no more story here, there's nothing else. You've had a great time, great run. We're gonna now, like, the only way you can continue playing this game is like if you just play online, which I think I'd be a little irritated with, but it would be an interesting kind of like brute force way to be like, you have to play online. Or at least to just segue you into like playing online to at least give it a shot. Um, I like more grounded stories. I think there's a lot of potential with the like pulling for Bonnie and Clyde. I think setting this game in Florida, I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'm open to the setting. I know it's the kind of the most desired setting at this point. Um, I think there's a lot of room in like Florida culture for like humor, redneck humor. I think it's a fun playground where the world is kind of okay with laughing at Florida still at this moment. So I think it's the least controversial like place to be to make fun of the people that live there, because Florida people are just weird as fuck. Sorry to everyone that's from Florida. I'm just saying you guys are a little weird. Um, so I think that'll be really cool. It seems like the female character is going to be the most like enriched character, if that makes sense. Like, I felt like the most big character, obviously we don't know much, but I just, even by character model alone, she seems the most developed in many ways. Um, but I think the male protagonist just seems very generic white guy, kind of throwaway character. And then she seems like maybe the character that they're kind of putting all their weight behind and just developing properly. Um, which, I mean, it's not an awful idea. I just, I'm not saying they're going to underdevelop him, but I just feel like even in like Grand Theft Auto 5 story, there was 3 characters. They clearly put, to me, I think they baked a lot of the story and a lot of the character development behind Michael. And then Franklin and Trevor were kind of just developed around Michael a little bit, I think. And then, like, I think honestly they could have just made Grand Theft Auto 5 with Michael's main story. Same thing with 4. They could have easily just ran with Nico's story, which they did, but then they added in the DLCs and all that stuff. And I might make a new maybe another video or whatever the hell this is about like potential like what the DLCs for GTA 5 could have been, just theoretical in this weird ass brain that I have, not anything concrete that Rockstar ever would think of to do, but just my made up, scenarios in my head. But it just seems like the story's not going to be like a big blockbuster like action film like how GTA 5 is. I think it's going to be a little bit more like we're everyday criminals. I think obviously there's going to have to be some kind of narrative like peak where, we're having a lot of money or whatever. Maybe they don't do that. Maybe they go completely and, revert all of that. But I think what's really interesting is just like being small time criminals again. Like I think one thing I really loved about GTA 4 was that we felt we were even still at the end of the game still felt like kind of still at the bottom of the food chain. Like we still felt like we were not like there was other bigger players involved. Like it, depending on what endings you kind of got and kind of like in the story, you still like a major sacrifice was made. If it wasn't Roman, then it was whatever the fuck Patrick's sister's name is that I'm blanking on right now. But that like there's always major consequences. The way that 5 ended was like nothing could stop these characters. Like it was like a blockbuster film. Like it was like a Marvel like film where it was just like there's nothing that can take down these characters. Like no matter what the world throws at them, you know. And I think Rockstar would be really great to get back to kind of like that GTA 5 like we're just kind of average criminals that are in this world, and there's other bigger players that have been here for a lot longer, and like we're just trying to survive in this crazy ass world. I think even San Andreas had a bit of that, um, and I just appreciate just a more grounded story to just be like we're just average fucking criminals, and there's a whole bunch of other shit happening around us, but also like that we might get tied up in and roped up in, but you know I think it's fun as a GTA protagonist to just be kind of pushed and toyed around by other bigger enemies. I feel like we really were lacking like enemies. Like there was so many like antagonists that it didn't feel like there was one antagonist that was really like holy shit. There was just like a lot of people that like our characters just we just didn't like. There wasn't like a main like big bad guy, which I guess you can call like the Bureau or whatever, and then like somehow we defeat the fucking Bureau. Like it's just so that's like weird. Like it's just it makes sense in like this like over the top like film thing, but that was what Rockstar was going for. They're going Hollywood. It's on the West Coast. Like it's supposed to be like a fantasy, versus like the very grounded story of GTA 4 where you're in underbellied like immigrant from wherever the fuck so I just appreciate that it might be more of a just like we're just trying to like survive in this world kind of grounded type of story but yeah I did want to say this. It seems like a more refined GTA 5. It doesn't seem like we're going to get like a massive improvement. It seems like there's going to be like texture improvements, obviously, resolution improvements, slight bumps in graphics, but I don't see that as a problem. I think the way that GTA 5 looks is great. I think just refining it and making it look better. Like, I don't think we're going to get massive leaps in the. I don't even know how to. Like, in graphics. Like, we're not going to get that, like, San Andreas to 4 graphic bump ever again. But I think we're going to get some types of updates, lighting updates. Obviously, resolution is going to be higher. And then, like, I think the biggest improvement might just be gameplay mechanics, which is a little bit cleaner. The things that was clunky in GTA 5, which when GTA 5 was brand new a decade ago, it was like, oh, this is like miles better gameplay mechanic wise than 4. I think we're going to get that kind of same thing where it's just like, it's refinement. I think people would want a bigger jump and whatever, but I think kind of sticking to what they know, sticking to the kind of aesthetic that they know, but then just kind of improving the gameplay mechanics is like the best scenario, I think, for the tenant we have, with hopefully getting this game out in like a relatively like decent window of time. Like I'm really hoping that this game comes out like in a year or two. Like like I don't want GTA 5 to become like a 15-year-old game and we're still like being like, okay, when is this coming out? So that's why like going back to like the top of this video of just being like, I'm just happy that this fucking game's actually in development, like not just like, oh, we're just dicking around being like, yeah, we're making it, I guess. Like we're just, thinking of some stuff. It seems like there's a script that's made. There's people, obviously, like the team is working on it. It did seem like, I was reading a lot of articles, it did seem like with Rockstar a few weeks ago, they kind of posted like a massive thank you letter, whatever, on their website saying like thank you for everyone who worked on the game, thank you everyone who played the game and purchased the game 8,000 times. But it just seems like they're kind of rolling the credits on GTA 5. Or they wrote the credits on GTA 5 a long time ago on GTA Online. Um, but I'm interested to see what Online 2 brings. Probably not going to play it a whole lot, dabble around in it until people fucking piss me off and then I get off. Um, but yeah, like I'm just interested in just playing another great Rockstar game for another decade, I guess, because that's what we're going to have to deal with. But I just hope GTA 6 is like an extensively well done like story that's well thought out, that's humorous, that's updated, because like GTA 5 is dated, especially in just like jokes, like there just a few things just didn't age well. um it doesn't feel as classic, even though we've had this game for a decade now. It just does not feel as timeless as the other games does. It feels kind of cheesy and cringy at this point with some of the stuff that's in there, but it is what it is. Who knows how it'll be in like 20 years or 30 years, and we kind of look back on it probably obviously with some nostalgia, being like, this is a really great game, and I think Rockstar's kind of robbing um, that like acknowledgement that like GTA 5 is a great game by not giving it a successor, like not moving on the franchise. Like I don't feel like that people really appreciated GTA 4 until we had GTA 5 for like 6 years, and it was like, man, actually GTA 4 was actually a really dope game that was like really well thought out. The story was really well done. That was like the main source of like, the game. And I think 5 has that. It's just like it's sitting in our face for so long, and then Rockstar's like, hey, you want to buy it again? Like, and it's like, what the fuck? Like it's like, oh, and then do you want to buy it again? And then again? And then what about on PC? And then like you're like, I guess, like, and it's just, whatever. But I don't know. I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to end this. And I want to thank anyone who listened to this whole video and just me rambling, because that's what I do. I ramble. So thank you. You can click off the video now. Also, if you watch my first part of me playing God of War for the first time, which is me just digging into a catalog of games that I have been played for a while, so I'm trying to play through God of War. Finally giving that shit a chance. Part 2 is almost done, and I'll release that when I get a chance to. Who knows? Maybe I'll release part 2 before I release this video. But thank you for anyone who's watching this video and watching the other videos on my channel. Appreciate it. Alright, I'm ending the video. Bye.